Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I want to start off by saying that any and all thoughts and opinions are just that, thoughts and opinions. In no way am I sharing professional advice when it comes to physical and mental health. These videos are simply for fun and to provide my thoughts on the topic. Do not send any hate to anyone I talk about, and please be kind in the comments. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to get back to the next video of emblery content. This is the second part for the video I filmed the other day, so we're just going to be getting straight back into it with the rest of the questions.
How are you doing with regulating your emotions? Because I know that's something you were working on. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely getting better.
Alright, so Amber starts off with the same tagline she always uses, which is, I am not perfect. Like, yeah, we all know this. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. The idea of perfection itself is a subjective thing based on both the individuals and as society as a whole. It is never going to be something that everyone will agree on because we all have our own idea based on what perfection is. On top of that, it's just something that is going to be ever changing, both on an individual level because our wants, needs, and things that we value change over time, and society as well also changes with the acceptability of certain things. Something that was appropriate last week is not appropriate this week. That's how it goes. We're going to change, adapt, and grow over time. We don't want you to be perfect. We want you to just better yourself and actually be accountable for your actions. Accept the fact that you're not perfect and that you are flawed, and we will actually be able to understand and agree with one another when you change yourself and your behaviors.
I'm learning more like what my triggers are, and I have created like journaling prompts specifically for moments where I need to regulate myself or become more rational. Like I said before, like I know a lot of you don't watch every single one of my videos, but
that can be good for something that you do after the event itself and be able to manage your feelings and get it out on paper so that way you can go to bed at night and be able to wake up the next morning in not a bad mood. But what are you going to do when you are in the moment? Like, that's okay for most of the time because when you are home, where you spend most of your time, you can really just remove yourself from the situation, go to your bedroom. But what happens when you're out in public and you have a fight with your girlfriend or your mother or one of your friends? Are you going to be able to really manage yourself in the moment and be able to calm yourself down so you can have a rational conversation? Or are you going to throw a bunch of shit at them, say things that you probably do mean, but you didn't want to speak out loud, and then, cause an argument to the point where you're probably not friends anymore, and then go home and feel, sorry for yourself? Because those things don't work when you're in the moment. You have to work on both things afterwards and during, because otherwise you're not going to really be able to manage yourself during the conversation and the argument you're having.
if you don't know, I do have BPD, so that makes it really hard sometimes for me to regulate my emotions.
I understand that Amber has BPD and it's going to cause issues with emotional awareness and, just body language and be able to read those type of signals when it comes to having a conversation and interacting with other people. I have those exact same issues. I don't have BPD, but I do have autism. I have those issues, so I can't really shit on her for that, and I can't really shit on anyone for that. And I'm not really going to do it because it's not really their fault. It's something that you're often born with. That being said, making a conscious effort to change and better yourself is the reason why people are holding you accountable. Because you don't do that, Amber. What you do is you excuse your bad behavior by saying it's a joke, you will downplay other people's feelings, and then if it comes to it, you will try to make yourself the victim in the situation by saying that you're misunderstood or you have a disability or a disorder. That is not how you change and better yourself as a person. You should be doing what people like myself do, which is if we don't understand other people's feelings and we get checked on it, we understand that we made a mistake, we apologize, and we make a mental note to change our behavior and do better in the future. Sometimes we're going to slip up, sometimes we're going to make mistakes, but for the most part, we're going to better ourselves and actually try to be a better person. We have universal understandings of how boundaries work, but we don't really have the boundaries for individual people and have a nuanced take on it. So we need to be checked. Completely understandable that some people don't want to check me because, they may be worried about how I would take it. I'm never going to be offended because I realize that sometimes I am too much. When I am with a group of people, I'm very quiet because I don't like large crowds, but when I'm one-on-one, I could be overbearing. I completely understand that. If you check me, I'm not going to get offended. I will never get offended. I will be 100%, oh shit, I did something wrong, change my behavior, and better myself in the future. That's really just all I can do. And that's how I will always respect people. Please check me. I will always take it as criticism. I will never take it as hate. And that is why people are upset with you, because you don't take it as criticism. You take it as hate, and then you justify it by saying that you have issues and that you can't change.
And something else that like I have come to terms with is like I have zero emotional permanence, which honestly makes things even harder. And that's probably like one of my biggest triggers I've realized recently.
And I'm willing to bet the permanence is based on how you feel about the situation, not how they feel, but how you feel. You were checked on it, you were offended, and you're like, oh, I'm being criticized to, why am I being attacked for the way I am? And so you take that and you apply it to your own feelings instead of really thinking about how the other person feels. And in a couple days when you are feeling better and it's out of your mind, you completely forget how they feel and you do it again.
So I noticed by like creating these journal prompts, whenever I feel like triggered or like I like to call it like BPD moments or
See what I mean? She calls them BPD moments. Do you know the difference between a BPD moment and an emotionally inept moment where you yourself are just taking the place of the victim? You also say that how you feel in the situation. So you're not taking on board on how other people feel. You're only just going to how you feel and not really understanding the other person in the situation. Because when you're having an argument with someone, there is two different people, at least two different people. There are two different sides. You're only caring about yourself in this situation, and that's why you don't have the object permanence of other people's emotions.
BPD freakouts, for the lack of a better term. Whenever I'm about to have that, I go straight to those journal prompts. And
Again, that's a really good idea if you were doing it afterwards, but in the moment, it's kind of hard to deal with. And I understand Amber spends the majority of the time at home, but you should be really working on things that could benefit you in the moment.
this is something new that I've recently started because it's like being with Tommy, it's like I've never wanted to improve so much with my BPD like until now. Like she genuinely makes me want to be a better person.
I have talked about how I need someone to check me in order for me to understand and empathize with them and be able to really create the mental note in order to better myself. That being said, this is kind of a different situation because you're not changing because someone is offended. You're changing because you want to be a better person with the person you're dating. That is really creating a situation where you only want to change when you're dating someone. And it's similar to how a lot of people who are religious only act as a moral person in order to get into heaven. It benefits them in some sort of way instead of just being a good person.
And I have felt that in our relationships. I feel like that's important to feel when you're in a relationship. Like I hope the person that you're with makes you want to become a better person. But it's like the fact that I am like actually actively not only just like wanting to become a better person, but I'm like taking the steps to do so. Like that just like I don't know, it makes my heart feel nice and warm and fuzzy. So anyways, these journal prompts have actually helped me. I have stepped away from journaling after doing these prompts. And I'm like, wow, I feel lighter. I feel better. I'm no longer freaking out. And I am now finally able to be rational and aware.
I mean, that's cool. You want to do better for yourself and for your partners. That's awesome. But what about a non-reciprocal means? Like, are you going to actually better yourself so that way you can apologize and make amends to the people you hurt who are not going to actively give back to you in some way? Because so far it's me, 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 and what can I do for my partner? And eventually what in turn your partner could do for you. So it's all about you in this situation and not about anyone else that doesn't benefit you.
I know there's actually a lot of people who also suffer with BPD who is watching me, or people who probably just have issues regulating themselves, etc., etc. So if you guys are interested in seeing the prompts and like kind of the process that I go through during a moment like that, I would honestly love nothing more than to share that with you guys because I really do think that it could be helpful. And before anyone says anything, yes, I need to go to therapy. I understand I'm not a therapist. I'm not giving advice. I'm strictly just like showing something that helps me that I feel like could help you.
It's kind of hard to tell whether or not she's trying to be a genuine person and try to actually help people, manage their own issues in some way, or is she doing it in a way to morally grandstand and really just talk about herself? It's kind of a hard thing to tell with Amber because she is someone who tries to have that empathetic approach, which often is just manipulation, but it really comes off with her morally grandstanding and just talking about herself. So I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she is actually trying to be a good person in this situation. I'm just skeptical.
If you ever do mukbangs again, I have flirted with the idea, I'm not gonna lie. There are times where I don't want to vlog. There are times where I don't want to show what is going on in my personal life. But I do have a job I have to do, and that's creating content. So my brain does go to, maybe I should just throw up a mukbang. So I'm not gonna lie, that is thoughts that I've had for a while now, maybe since like February or March. So the fact that I have not done one, I'm very proud of that because mukbangs are easy. They're easy to do. They're easy to film. You're going to eat anyways. Throw it up and call it a day, make some money.
Honestly, with the mukbangs, I really don't care because it's really just, are you going to sit on a couch and talk, or are you going to sit on a couch and talk and eat, or are you going to go to a restaurant, sit, talk, and eat? Like, it's just the same variation of the three things that you do on a daily basis anyway, so it doesn't really matter because the content's the same. My honest opinion is just find something you enjoy doing and turn it into a passion in which you can make content out of. And this goes for not only Amber, just anyone in general. Like, if you're willing to change and better yourself and actually make a hobby out of something, people are actually going to give you that chance if you're willing to put that content up. Not everyone. You're still gonna have reaction channels. You're still gonna have hate commenters and trolls and stuff like that. But people will see that you are trying to change and actually better yourself. They're going to give you a chance. You may even create a new audience, people that might be influenced to actually enjoy the content you watch and the content you make. Like, do something that fulfills you, and you may actually find, some better techniques to help better for yourself and to actually help manage your anger issues and your stress and, the way you act and treat people. Like, I'm willing to give you a chance if you better yourself. I'm not going to forget the things that you did, and I'm never going to be your friend, but I'm willing to give you a chance at least.
Are you interested in buying property? I would love to buy a house one day, but that's such like a big commitment. And it's like, you guys have seen, I have not like stayed in one state. I have moved around so much. I have lived in so many different states. And it's like, where would I buy the house?
My biggest goal in life is honestly just to have a bit of property. And I mean, I don't want something that's acreage, and I don't want a house with like 50 bedrooms or anything like that. 2 or 3 bedrooms, an office, and something like that would be genuinely the best thing I could hope for. Like, that's what I want in life. I would love a backyard for some dogs, get some cats, probably some fish, some birds. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably just would want a zoo. Like, I would love a zoo. I love animals. That's just something that I would genuinely love. And to share that with someone who loves animals as much as I would, that would be my greatest goal in life. Own a house, have a partner who loves animals as much as I do, and just have a bunch of animals. Like, just the movie We Bought a Zoo, honestly.
Am I going to be in that state forever? Like, it's just like such a huge commitment. Plus, I'm like super picky. The house would have to be like my idea of perfect because it's like, it's mine. I own it. But the thought of like owning my own house, it'd be like my little baby.
A lot of people are going for more for like the fixer-uppers that are cheaper, and that would be something that I would want to do and go for something that's probably like 70s or 80s. Not too old, but not, too new, because just a lot of the modern homes are just not, it's not something I genuinely like. I just don't like them. I'm not a huge fan of them. Sorry. It's just the black, the white, the beige, the minimalist style, the carbon copy. It's just, it feels soulless to me. It doesn't feel like a home. It feels like an IKEA showroom, and I don't like it. And a lot of people go crazy for it, but I don't. It doesn't feel like a home to me. It never has. And I would genuinely like a house that does have something like my own parental home, like my parents have, that's a little bit on the older side, that has color, that has a uniqueness. You can't just go around the same street and see 6 or 7 copies of the same house. Something that actually has its own unique feel to it.
And I could do whatever I want to it. Like, that's pretty exciting. So it's up in the air. I don't really know at this moment. What is your biggest regret from each of your relationships? Definitely having undiagnosed BPD and definitely not understanding the reason why I was the way I was.
I understand if your BPD was not undiagnosed, so you couldn't control it fully, but a lot of the things that you did were not excusable because of that. You cannot use BPD for a justification for putting your hands on people. You cannot use your BPD as an excuse to force Beck, who was in renal failure, to do the things that she had to do on a daily basis. You do not use your BPD as an excuse to threaten to unalive yourself to keep your partners away from their family members. And you do not use BPD as an excuse to be racist, homophobic, misogynistic, and transphobic. I'm sorry, doesn't work like that.
Not getting help sooner. It takes two to tango in most relationships, but like, I am fully aware and taking accountability of like, it was probably hard being in a relationship with me in the past.
Really, Emma, so you have taken accountability for a lot of the things that you've done. So please tell me where the accountability for Beck is, or Beck's mother, or Casey's mother, or Destiny, and Destiny's mother, or Crystal and the physical abuse you did towards her. How about Wifey when you were, slapping about on each other and you were getting physical? How about all the stuff that you did with all the married women? Where's the accountability for that? And I don't like Alexis, I don't like Brittany, and I don't sure as hell don't like Erica, but they deserve apologies too for the shit that you did to them. So where exactly is the accountability? Because I don't see it. No one else sees it.
because I had a lot of baggage, a lot of heaviness. And undiagnosed BPD, it's scary, it's overwhelming, it's consuming.
It's also an excuse for you to continue doing what you're doing.
And it's not just for the person experiencing it, but it's also for the people around them. And it's like, I have a lot of regret towards that, like 100,000,000%. And I would do anything to like be able to go back in time because I genuinely think it would have prevented 99% of my problems.
And again, like literally, it's just about you and how you feel and the regrets you have. You don't care about other people, how they feel. It's just about how you feel and just making you feel better about yourself. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, if you were willing to reach out to Casey or to Beck or to Crystal or to, Destiny, I'm sure that they would actually accept your apology if you were willing to change and better yourself. If you weren't to make it public and to actually reach out and just speak on it and just leave it be, give them some closure, they would probably respect you for it. But you wouldn't be able to do that. You would bring it up, you would make it a spectacle, and you would actually try to make it like, look, guys, I tried to fix this situation. I try to, do better. I'm trying to be a better person. You would put it at the forefront of who you are because you can't help but make people try to see you as a good person. You wouldn't be able to do it without getting some sort of benefit back. That is why people hate you for the things that you do.
That were caused by me. How do you cope with a long distance relationship?
This one's pretty easy to answer. I didn't even need to see what Amber is about to say what she's going to say. See, a relationship that is long distance is better than no relationship, and she needs the attention and the validation. So she's just going to say, well, we're going to make a lot of time for each other. We actually work on it. And, it's nice to have someone who actually gives me the attention as much as I give them attention because, I'm willing to work on myself and give them, the love and attention they need so they give it back to me. And, I've been in relationships that don't have that. And, it's so much different and so much better with Tommy because she's willing to give the same effort back.
It's hard, but we do make a lot of time for each other, and I'm very grateful for that. Like, Tommy puts as much energy in me as I put in her, and I feel like that's super freaking important because I know how it feels to be, in a relationship with someone or like in a situationship with someone where it's like you're putting all this energy and all this time and this attention into them. It's like they're not giving it back. It's awkward. It's painful. It's like, do they even like me? Like, what?
It is a little concerning that I know what Amber is going to say before she says it. It's like straight up foresight. Like, I didn't even watch this, and I knew for a fact she was going to say that because that's the same thing she says over and over again.
When two energies are just like so similar, just like what you want in a relationship and like what you give in a relationship and like the give and take is like very balanced, I think it makes any relationship just a lot easier, whether it's long distance or not.
Yeah, no shit. A relationship in which two people love each other is actually going to be more beneficial than a relationship with one person loving another.
How many pets have you had as an adult so far? I've had 4. Wasabi, Twinkie, Rarity, and Jax. And unfortunately, Jax passed away. If you guys remember Jax, then you have definitely been around for a long time. I think about him all the time and I miss him dearly. If you could only listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would it be? So I know a lot of people are gonna think I'm either gonna say Billie Eilish or Miley Cyrus, but no. Billie Eilish is my second choice, but honestly, my first choice is Banks. If you guys know me through and through, Banks is just like everything. Her music is just like magic to me. And she has been flirting on social media with a new song. And I'm just like, hurry it up. Let's like get a new album out because I'm ready to have that on repeat, like on the constant.
I don't know Banks. I've never listened to Billie Eilish, and I've heard 1 or 2 of Miley Cyrus songs, probably because she's just been around for so long. But I mostly listen to heavy metal and just black metal and death metal and stuff like that. So that's probably the reason why I don't listen to the music.
If you guys have not listened to Banks before, do it. Like, do it now, please. Like, you can pause this video, it's fine. Or actually, finish the video first and then go do that. What's something you really want to do with Tommy? I would love to, like, go on a vacation with her. Maybe, like, a little cabin, like a cabin in the mountains or something. That sounds, like, cute, but it's fresh.
She is aware that cabins on mountains are usually on uneven surfaces, right? Like, she would have to not only go up and down stairs, but up and down hills. Does she think that's a good idea with her weight? And, like, that's not to shit on a fat person, but, like, you could injure yourself quite easily doing stuff like that.
Low-key just sounds so cozy. Like, I could do anything with her and have the time of my life. That is something me and her, like, agree on. Like, we could literally just be sitting next to each other, and it's the best time we've ever had. Like, ever in our life.
Jesus, Amber, even in your own dream vacations, you're just sitting around and doing nothing.
Will you be visiting Tommy or is that off the table? I don't really know.
Let's be for real, Amber, we all know that you're not doing that. You wouldn't even go to the airport to meet Tommy, let alone actually go to another state to meet her. You put so little effort in, you just wait for her to come to you, let alone actually go and pick her up. That is how little effort you put into the relationship, and you expect everyone else to do the work for you. Also, don't you ever dare wink at me again.
What's one thing you noticed about Tommy that made you realize you were in love?
The photo of her sleeping between her partner's fat rolls.
Y'all, there are thousands of things that made me realize this. Not gonna lie to you. So I'm just gonna like go on my little list of reasons and randomly pick one. It's the way that she cares about me. The way that like, if I just have like, oh, I have a little tummy ache, or oh, I have like a tiny little headache. Like the way that she like worries and like cares about me and like shows that is so, it's just so gentle and sweet and kind. And I'm not used to that. I'm not gonna lie.
I hate to break to you, Amber, she's not worried about you, she's worried about getting blamed for another one dropping.
Like one of the days she was here, like we walked a lot and my feet were hurting and just automatically she's like, let me massage your feet. And I'm like, this is new. Like I'm just not used to that, like that type of care. And it's just like,
Wait, hold on 1 second. I distinctly remember that Destiny used to do a care routine on your feet because you had crusty ass feet at one point. So don't lie on Destiny, she actually did your feet too.
like someone who matches my energy because I'm the same way. Like the minute she feels some type of way, I'm just like, are you okay? Oh my God, do you need like me to help with that? Or like, we just like worry and care in the same way. Like again, it's just like our energies are matching even in that way. That's just like one thing out of like thousands. Like, she's just so sweet.
Aw, Amber, that is so genuinely sweet that you would do that for Tommy. I just wish you had that effort for, Beck, like when she had her wisdom teeth out, or when she was suffering with, depression and, she nearly ended your life and her life while driving a car. Like, you would force her to go out and do those things for you, but you wouldn't do those for her, but you would do that for Tommy? That is so genuinely sweet.
How long do you think the honeymoon phase will last in your relationship? So just based on like experience, but also based on other people's real life stories, sometimes the honeymoon phase never stops. So the last question.
Ooh, me. I'll answer it. It's gonna happen when reality hits you and you're bedbound and you were not able to walk or move on your own, and then your girlfriend is gonna start wiping your ass for you, and then you realize you fucked your life up after everyone told you not to do it.
You get dinner with 5 people, dead or alive. Who are you inviting? So I'm inviting Tommy, obviously. I'm inviting my grandma, Judy. She passed away when I was 12, but she was my heart, my soul, my everything. She was my mom when my mom couldn't be my mom. I miss her so much, and there's so much I want to tell her and ask her, and just, I'd give anything to do that. Billie Eilish, Brittany Murphy, last but not least, Drew Barrymore.
The first two are obvious, but I don't think the other three would want to be anywhere near you, especially Drew Barrymore, because she went through some traumatic shit.
Anyways, so those are the 33 questions, and now that I have sat here and answered them all, I didn't realize how many of you asked questions about Tommy and how many of them I actually jotted down. Wow, this is almost 40 minutes. That's hectic. So I'm gonna need to edit this down a lot so you guys aren't sitting there listening to me ramble like nonsense. But I hope that you guys did enjoy this, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Alright guys, this is the end of the video. I might actually split up into 2 pieces because it is pretty long. It's about 50 minutes long. And hopefully I get to see you guys in this one, the other one, and potentially the rest of the videos I make. See you then. Bye bye.